Hey there, Jason here for the chart guys, checking in on the markets again today. Dan is still on vacation, so you're going to be hearing from me for the next few days. Let's take a look at SPY, QQQ, all of our regular names, and I'm pretty curious to see what is going to happen tomorrow because we have a new variable that doesn't usually impact the markets the way it has been in the past couple of days. Yesterday's video, we talked about the Hong Kong index being down 8% over 2 days. The question is yesterday's green day a dead cat bounce, meaning is it just going to bounce and then fall right back down, continuing its downside trajectory? And if so, how much of an influence is that going to have on SPY? These last 2 days certainly had an impact. It hung over our heads. We saw a dip and we saw the bulls buy that dip. Today we saw a little bit of a mixed bag. We saw some strength after a morning of weakness. We had a drop after FOMC reactions. We went back up and basically closed the day with a net zero. So if we see continued weakness in the Asian markets, that's certainly going to have an impact on us tomorrow. A lot of wide ranges from yesterday's trading action, a lot of inside bar setups going into tomorrow from today's tightening ranges. So those will be very interesting to watch indeed. As we look at SPY on the daily time frame, a higher day resistance is clearly in sight, as well as 441.16 is going to be the next target beyond that. This FOMC hour gave us a big range, and those are going to be our short-term hourly or short-term support and resistance levels. Below 437.31, we have 435.99. I think the most clarity is actually going to come from the NAS 100 USD hourly time frame, where we have an equilibrium building up. We have our lows, our highs, our higher lows, and we're going to look for some clarity in this range. Once this breaks, we're going to have a better idea of what the short-term direction of the future market is going to do. Right now, we have a lot of possible possibilities. I think a lot of possible possibilities. That's a great, that's a terrible t-shirt idea. But we have a lot of possible possibilities, okay? If we break bullish, that's going to continue what the daily chart has been telling us that it has been doing over and over and over again, and trends generally continue in the trajectory in which they originate from, which means our equilibrium is generally going to break bullish and see continuation. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. It'll look a little bit better there. So here we are nested inside this range. Yes, we had our big drop. Bulls have battled back. Now we're at that moment of balance where we need to decide who's going to do the real work. There are a 4-hour inside bar. We can watch that as well. But my happy possibilities bias would have me looking toward more upside, and the only thing that's going to throw that off is if I see more weakness in the Asian markets overnight. So I will be watching those very closely. I'll be posting on them inside the Chart Guys community as we see that develop, and that's going to give us some good insight into what is going to happen. As always, you can watch your NAS 100 USD on TradingView or your SPX 500 USD on TradingView if you want to watch the Russell. The US 2000 USD, those are your equivalents to those futures markets, so you can keep an eye on them at all times, just like we like to do. Let's take a look at QQQ. Arguably had a better day. We had a wider range yesterday, which gave us this beautiful inside bar setup going into today's range. Taking a quick look at the 15-minute time frame, we can see exactly where that equilibrium is coming from on the NAS 100 USD. Those both reflect more or less the same price action. Here we need to break 366.64. If we can do that at this 15-minute equilibrium, and again, it's really going to focus on, or really what's going to matter is NAS 100 USD. Then we've got our highs up at 368.89. If we were playing this tomorrow, we would love to open inside the range and break this inside bar range to the upside. That would have bulls in continuation and looking very, very good. XLF. XLF still has this big overhead area of resistance. We talked about this yesterday. Not much has changed. We head on right into that area after a strong open. A lot of volatility and still having to deal with that range. So I'm not too much interested in the upside here until we can get over top of these zones of resistance. 4-hour time frame, see them with even more clarity. And in the hourly time frame, we get to go and have the rare pleasure of adding in yet another zone of resistance right there. 36.64. Every time I see these highs, I give myself a little horizontal ray. As they build over time, I can see the area where I expect resistance. And what that does is it talks me out of jumping into a trade just because I break 36.62. That doesn't mean we're in breakup mode. It just means we're in an area of resistance, and we need to get above these areas of resistance, establish them as areas of support, and build new trends. And from those new trends, we can develop new trades. That's what I like to see on XLF, or I would like to see. What I do like to see is these overall hourly higher lows hitting into that area of resistance. That compresses our prices up a little bit, and it gives us a little bit more amplitude for when those breakouts, in whatever direction they come, finally do manifest. Taking a look at, oh, we messed up here. We got IWM. IWM, not a dissimilar situation to XLF. We have these areas of resistance, and we have a new one from today, and we got a couple more that we can look at. Are we over top of this area of resistance? No, not really. Hourly time frame. There they all are. There they are, all in a row. Again, we have our hourly uptrend working in our favor. Anything over 217.40. Today's low of day is going to be another hourly higher low, and building up a lot of potential for upside as soon as we can get over top of these areas of resistance. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a big fireworks show. It could just be a nice volume day, a back test, and a continuation of this trend. But these are the lines in the sand that I utilize to try and figure out when I am ready to start taking long-term entries or swings on indices, ETFs, and related names that trade in tandem with things like IWM or XLF. Who's the strongest in this sector? Those are the questions we need to know when we're looking at the XLF chart. Taking a look at healthcare now. Daily time frame, a nice green day, continuing this overall uptrend. RSI still grinding the overbought conditions on our RSI. So we're currently at 69.54, a little bit of profit taking today. Shouldn't be too upset about that. Who doesn't want to take profit? That's why we're here, right? 4-hour time frame, higher lows, higher highs, starting to bunch up a little bit here on the hourly time frame. And we have our nice little high day resistance, 132.09, 131.94, a little bit of a resistance zone up here to worry about. And anything over top of 130.72 is going to be an hourly higher low. The bulls remaining in full control of healthcare. Taking a look at XBI. Ooh, I like that. XBI on the daily time frame, pretty big green day. And this actually looks not dissimilar to some of the growth names that we have seen. We are in a daily downtrend. Let's not forget that. Let's actually start over here. So despite the big green day today, we are still in a daily downtrend, and anything under 130.50 is going to be a lower high on this daily trend. And as always, our expectation is continuation and not deviation. So we need to have a bear mindset as we approach the 130.50 area of resistance with the expectation of a trend change, and be very happy, I guess, if that doesn't come into play. That's why we have these beautiful levels and price action to tell us when, combining with volume, when things change. It's always about the narrative. When did this narrative change to this? When is this narrative going to change to something new? Could be up, could be down, we don't know. But we do know that we have price action and multiple tools to help us make trade decisions when technical analysis provides us with this setup. Okay, so when did that narrative change? With the break over 124.49, hold, nice tightening range, and continuation breakout. Let's go look at the 15-minute time frame. How did that look actually on the 5? Beautiful move. Minimal volatility here with the FOMC. Break over 125.96. Good volume and ramp up into a 5-minute bull flag to end the day. Can't ask for too much more than that. The only thing that I would see bearish is the fact that we are near overbought. And in fact, what I would look for would be an hourly or a gap up with this sort of momentum, a 5-minute oversold condition for an entry, and look to ride for a lower high under 130.50. That would be ideal. XLF. I feel like we've already done this one. Yes, indeed we have. This chart's very familiar. Happens quite a bit in the chart, guys, especially when I get multiple tabs going here. Looking at tickers for people all day. You get to see some familiar charts. And then what's cool is you get to recognize what charts that really shouldn't be trading in sympathy with each other are. And then once you have that, you can find laggards and early breakout signals that normally you wouldn't be utilizing. But hey, if it works, right? Robots do what robots do. ARK. So another big growth name, a good ETF to get a good read on what the overall growth sector is doing. Nice green day today. Still has a lot of work to do in order to change the daily trend. Here's our daily trend here, the low, our lower high. Possible. Well, it is pretty good for a daily high or low. Now, what the bulls need to do is get over 123.42. So they have short-term momentum to the upside until we get to that range. Again, expectation is continuation, so I would look for a lower high and be proven otherwise. I'd love to see ARK do it, but we have to watch the charts. Anything under 123.11 is going to be 4-hour lower high. Hourly time frame trading contrary to that. Here's our 4-hour downtrend, hourly downtrend. Here's our new hourly uptrend. And anything over top of our afternoon low of 120.11 is going to be an hourly higher low. Going to the 15-minute chart, there she is, looking very beautiful, lots of strength. Let's see if we can continue to that tomorrow and get over those key daily levels. Tan, not too dissimilar. Daily equilibrium continuing. Not enough sunshine, even though we had a beautiful green day. I want to see this equilibrium continue. Again, my expectation would be continuation and a lower high under 87.57. In fact, I would love to see that because I'd love to see this equilibrium build out as tightly as possible. Give me that compression, give me that tightening range, and give me the breakout from that. I'll play that with a lot more interest than I will just breaking to a new higher high. And as fun as trends are, it is that compression and that squeezing emphasis that allows us to have those big periods of price discovery into new trends. So we're not trending right now. We are at equilibrium on the daily. And we can see that our EMAs are moving together. We can see that really effectively on Tesla, actually. Here's a gooder. Here's a gooder example. It's not dissimilar to tan on the daily time frame as we are compressing, but look how our moving averages are just meshing together right now. We don't really have a trend that we can use, but it is squeezing. It is compressing. Here's our 4-hour squeeze starting up. I don't know if we've got a daily one. Yes, we do. Daily squeeze. Some beautiful things here. Building up. They're not quite ripe yet, but they're building up. Taking a look at GDX. What a beautiful day for GDX. So we blew right through this area of resistance that we chatted about. This is what I'd love to see names like XLF do. This is the area of resistance. We need to get up close to it. We need to see the bull pressure. We need to apply that pressure and blow it to smithereens. GDX, there's my chart. Okay, the real question is, did these matter too much in our attempt to get to new highs? And what are our new highs? I've already got this marked up from a conversation earlier, well, about half an hour ago when we were doing our live coverage. But here we are. We open the day, double top on the 5-minute time frame, finally get over top, try to confirm it as an area of support, get really close, and then FOMC takes us for a ride and ultimately breaks the chart and heads up to new highs. So yes, it did matter. FOMC gave us a little more amplitude, and we're closing the day with a Marabuzzo close, meaning we close right near the high of the day, which is maximum fun and maximum excitement heading into tomorrow. We go to our 4-hour time frame. Our next resistance is here at 34.37, and we'd be looking for hourly consolidation at some point. If we can get over 34.37, that'd be a beautiful place for turnaround at an hourly higher low. All things considered, gold miners looking very good going into tomorrow. MSOS, surprised to see a little bit of a green day. Didn't follow it too closely today. Did watch TLRY with a 50-minute higher low catch for some people in our community interested in those. So that was interesting. And we got the possibility here for a little bit of a trend change. On the daily time frame, we are still setting lower highs and lower lows. I would look for resistance right where we have seen it before, right near our EMAs. EMA 12 and 8, the yellow and blue line, I like those. We have been respecting them as resistances here, as supports here rather, and resistances here and here. So that is my expectation. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we have a lot of work to do to change the 4-hour trend as well, slowing right against that EMA. Our EMA 26 in the 4-hour is going to correlate relatively well to our EMA 12 on the daily time frame, not penny to penny, but they are approximately in the same area for resistance. And in the hourly time frame, we haven't really locked in an hourly higher low yet. The possibility is certainly here. Low, lower low, if we consider this one area as a low, and then a higher low. That's what we want to see. So I'd love to see a gap up on some excitement, some oversold condition, get that hourly higher low in, and see if we can't turn things around here for our beautiful MSOS traders. I believe that is it for the day. Let's see if there's any tickers that I have missed. And I don't believe I have. So keep a close eye on what these Hong Kong markets are going to be doing. Look at the hourly time frame for this equilibrium. There's a 30-minute time frame. There it is. Keep a close eye on that. On QQQ, we can see that same thing building out. Where did I put that? EQ, 15-minute time frame. There she is. All right. If you want to find or watch those markets on your own, I'll show you where you can do that. All you need to do is go over here to investing.com, go to indices, world indices, and find Hang Seng. That is the one we're referencing in today's action with a big inside bar. Switch to candlesticks, give yourself a little bit of familiar territory. It does take some adjusting, but you can zoom right in and watch the action, get an idea for what this market is going to do and how it might impact us going into tomorrow. Always nice to keep abreast of what's happening in the world as far as technical information goes. So we will check back in tomorrow. Check out the pregame show for Chart Guys. We do a pregame show every morning hosted by our partner, Lori. She is on at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good information in there, and really sets us up for the day. Anyway, my name is Jason. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful trading day tomorrow, and I will talk to you then.